My project basket is out of control right now. Hello, my name is Emily from Crochet Creations. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and to this video, I will be going through my WIP basket, or my work in progress project basket. Everything that I am crocheting or knitting on or have in the past and have not finished. I have it all in one place and it needs help. It is way overboard. As part of my reorganization, I wanted to kind of clear up the area around my bed. I always keep 1 or 2 project bags no matter what, but I think this area it'd be nice to have less going on right here, but this is not the problem. This is the problem. It's way overkill. Nobody needs this many projects. It's hard to see how big the box is, but it's, with the projects stacked way too high. It's as tall as my desk almost. It's as tall as my nightstand. It's too much. It's really embarrassing. And honestly, the basket itself is not a basket. It's just a cardboard box, so it doesn't even look nice. And I think that going through, reorganizing, even deciding to frog some things, clear some things out of there that I just need to get out of my life, I think that doing that will help me feel better. And I think I will also get a nice little basket area to actually designate as my project basket. And so that's kind of this little mini makeover of my space. I did do a yarn reorganization and refresh of my crafting area in a previous video. I'll make sure to link that up above and down below. And I was able to kind of gather all my WIPs and put them all in one spot, but it's definitely overflowing now and it doesn't look very nice, and I told myself I would deal with it later, and later is now. So my task today, it is nap time. So I'm going to lay out all my WIPs and organize everything from the projects I'm currently working on and focusing on, the projects that I have worked on recently and plan to keep working on. I'm going to set aside the projects that I'm maybe not sure what to do with, because I'm sure there will be some. It's always hard to declutter, especially something you've put your time and effort into. And definitely the projects that I'll frog, or the yarn that I'm gonna remove from this box, put away in my yarn stash. So just kind of dismantle things. So we're gonna separate it out and kind of see. I think I'll also, because I see a couple projects looking over there right now, I see a couple projects that are really close to being done, and so I should set those aside so that I can make a point to work on them really soon, to kind of check them off my list and get them done. Just those last lingering things that I should just do. That is kind of how things are gonna go. Hopefully we'll be successful and get this going. Let's do this. Right, so we have laid everything out on the bed. It was organized piles, but they are kind of all bleeding into each other, so I'll have to kind of describe what I ended up doing. It's good to go back through and look at all the projects I have, or that I started or I intended, because I've changed since I had those thoughts and plans, and so I might need to change things. I am not one to frog a lot, and frogging means just to like unravel and undo it. I will frog a project while I'm working on it to make sure I do it the right way, and I'm also a very careful person when I knit or crochet, and so that helps. But I have a hard time going back and fixing something that I already did, because there's just so many new things I want to try. It's really hard when I like put a project down because I'm not enjoying it. It's still kind of hard for me to unravel it. So there's not as many things in the frog pile as I had kind of hoped to clear out, but hopefully we can still clear out quite a lot of this WIP pile and kind of reevaluate. All right. There we go, all the WIPs. And honestly, I am really good at keeping things organized. So I have a lot of things in bags to kind of collect the parts. I also did not have to track over my whole house to try to find all my WIPs, because I only had them in the 2 places I showed you at the beginning of this video. So not too bad, but there are a lot of things here that I need to think about and consider and do something about, because they just can't sit here for so long. Let's talk about different sections. So let's see, over here I've got like my most active WIPs that I'm working on. And right back there are other WIPs that I have worked on recently that I plan to get back to soon, but maybe I'm just not in the mood right this second. I've got a pair of socks. Actually, when I pulled them out, I realized that I have to get those worked on because that is a sock design I'm hoping to get out sometime this summer, so gotta work on that. And then a couple other bigger projects that I'm just not feeling at the moment, but I'll get back to those soon is the plan. Right here in front is my area of things that I only have a little bit of work left to do on them. So whether that's these bags and sewing a lining in for them, or the seaming of like this toy project. Look at all those bags. So this is not a small project, honestly. It's a bunch of different colored blocks and things. So there's like brown block, red block, orange block, but they're all different tones. I was making blocks. I have all the pieces crocheted. I need to seam them together, which will be, it won't be too big of a task to do one or two, but like to do all of them, it'll take a while. I have a couple other things to seam, lots of end weaving in. Even like this project is recent. I just finished these socks and I weaved in a lot of ends as I went, but I have still quite a bit left to go. So yeah, there's still a handful, not too many, but I definitely still need to take care of that. That should be a ASAP project for me. I need to do that. Go back here. These are all the very long-term WIPs that I have forgotten about, put down. Maybe they're like not as important. Cold weather, that's a pair of mittens. I finished one for a pattern test. Did not need to do the second one, and so I haven't yet. But I have all the yarn there that I need. Good stash buster project, so I want to do that. I have a stocking that's not for anyone in particular, so that doesn't need to be done anytime soon. The wool diaper cover, I don't know if it even fits my daughter anymore because I started so long ago, so we'll see. But yeah, just a couple, more scrappy things that I don't even necessarily care about too much. Like, I'm not invested in them, but it's nice to have something like that. Especially like I've got this blanket right here. It started just as like a donation blanket for like an animal shelter. So that'll be good. This is my frog section, and I'm proud of myself for deciding that this is my frog section. I've got a couple of projects that went through the washer and did not like it. And so I need to frog them and crochet them or re-knit or whatever I decide to do with that yarn. Make a hat for my daughter. I have a burp cloth I made my daughter, but out of acrylic yarn. So super dumb. Don't make a bib or a burp cloth or anything like that that's supposed to be absorbent out of acrylic yarn because it doesn't work. So I just need to frog that, and I was planning on throwing it into my scrappy blanket to donate. A couple other projects. This one I'll show you. It's got like pink velvet yarn. I started it in crochet, but I was really hating the process, and if I was hating the process, I'm sure others would hate the process. So I decided I need to be done with that, should frog it, and then maybe try again in knitting and see if I like it better that way. And then I started a scrappy cardigan, but I just realized I wasn't going to wear it, so I haven't really worked on it. And I have lots and lots and lots of yarn, so I think I'm going to make a small blanket out of that. But I need to frog what I've got and kind of get that out of the way because I'm not working on that right now. And then this is like random bags and skeins of yarn and even a couple swatches, but things that don't need to be in my WIP pile because I'm not doing anything with them right now. Very last section, this is just a couple design related things. I've got a yoke started in this, I was playing around. I really like it, but I need to do something about it. I have a little vest I made my daughter, a little sweet pea vest. Don't have a child size written for that pattern, but maybe I should. And then a long time ago, I made these little daffodils, and not necessarily tied to the idea, but it's good to keep things like that will inspire later designs. So this is all the things. All of it, everything, yes. I need to figure out now where to put these. We have our work cut out for us. I think I'm going to start by frogging, and then maybe I'll put everything that like only needs a little bit of attention in one bag so that if I'm in the mood to like knock things off the list, then I will pull something out of there. I don't know. I have a lot of current WIPs, and so I don't want to like burden myself by adding other WIPs, but maybe I'll grab like, well, okay, I know I need to fix the socks. I need to finish weaving the ends in, so I'll keep those out so I can work on those because that is a priority. Then maybe when I finish those, I'll pull something else out to get to seaming or weaving in ends. I think I need to bag up a couple more of these things. Maybe I need to come up with a labeling system for my bags, because if I don't see the inside, then I don't think about the inside, and then I forget about it, and then I will clean out my WIPs again in like 8 months, and it'll be warm again, and so I won't want to work on a Christmas stocking or on a mitten or whatnot. So kind of gotta figure out how to avoid a recurring problem. But yeah, I think I'll just frog a couple things that I know, because then I can put that yarn back into my stash and kind of get it out of this room and into my closet. Let me know if you want to see me do like a yarn stash re-inventory and categorize, because I would love to do that. I'm not sure if you guys would be interested in that type of content, but my first reorganization video was just kind of setting up my crafting zone and kind of organizing things a little bit better. But I do have a spreadsheet that I've done in the past of all my yarns and keeping track, and also specifically keeping track of my yarn stash and how much I have in my stash, and totally fell off the bandwagon this year with that, like keeping track of things, but I do want to get back on. I think I will need to reorganize and like recategorize, make a new spreadsheet for this year so I can really understand what I've got in my stash and what I can do with it. But that is not today. That is a later me problem. I guess we'll get started getting through this. It's so sad to frog something, but it also lifts a burden to get it out of the way and kind of restart, refresh. So it's worth it. Okay, so I was thinking that this is like seriously the most boring thing ever, and you wouldn't want to listen to me just like pulling at this, that you wouldn't be interested. But I had an idea. I wanted to talk to you about WIPs, works in progress, projects that you've got going on. Figure we can have just a little chatty chat. How many projects do you have going? And do you tend to hibernate projects or like put them off to the side for a while? What makes you decide to pick up a project versus pick up a different project? Let me know what makes you pick up one project versus another project. So other than like pattern tests, pattern designs, collaborations, custom order, you know, things with a deadline, what makes you decide to pick up a project or to put it off to the wayside? This project, I was just not liking the process. It was not fun. So I put it down, and that's totally fine. I'm clearly not a monogamous knitter or monogamous crocheter. I have lots of projects that I'm constantly working on. In any given day, I will probably work on at least 2 projects with the time that I have. And that's totally fine. You do you as far as your making and what you enjoy working on. What about you? Are you a monogamous maker? Are you someone who has lots of different projects? Do you constantly cast on more and you're just adding to your pile? Or are you really good at finishing your projects as well? I love to get to know you, so let me know down below what kind of a maker you are and what does your WIP basket look like. Tell me that I'm not alone in this chaos of years forgotten projects. This is a familiar sight. Let me know. I'm not counting most of these as like WIPs. Like I don't have a number for my WIPs, but if you know how many WIPs you have, let me know. I would say my active WIPs, I probably got like 6 or 7 things I would consider my active WIPs, but I definitely have a lot more things going on than that. How many WIPs do you like to have on hand? I honestly feel like I have more on hand than I typically like to, but I do have a couple projects that I really am not paying much attention to. So really I have like 2 or 3 very active WIPs, and then a couple that I have like by the wayside that just stare at me from their spot on the floor, and I pick up like once a week, once every other week to do a little bit of stitching on. And you know, to each their own, whatever works for you and your making. I would like to ultimately have only like 3 or 4 WIPs ever. So I would love to get this WIP basket taken care of, but I also don't want to just like hide these in the closet because it doesn't take care of the problem. So I need to either finish projects, frog them, throw them away, donate them, whatever needs to happen. They just need a more permanent destination, because living in my WIP basket for months and months and months just sitting there is not a solution. We are on the road to a solution here. We are almost done frogging this project. This can go in my pile of supplies, and that is done. Oof, I am already tired of doing that, and I barely just started this project. I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna go do some editing, and I'll come back here maybe during the end of nap time, or maybe Jojo will wake up, and so you'll see her next time I show my face. As you can see, my toddler has joined us, so we're continuing to go through. I'm gonna prioritize the frog pile and then getting all this yarn put back away in the closet, so then it'll free up a lot of space and it'll be easier to figure out what to tackle next. The yarn's so soft. Yeah. Like rubbing on your face. That ball's as big as your head. Georgia, are you all done with your cheese? Okay, we need to throw it in the trash then. Toddlers. Okay, this is a lot of yarn, so I'm going to put it in some bags and haul it over to the other room. Toddler has been removed from the room, so we are finishing up the frogging section. Frogging this burp cloth that of course wouldn't work as burp cloth. I do like the stitch pattern though. It's my Sweet Pea stitch pattern I've been using, and I think that the size was great for throwing over your shoulder, but I gotta redo it in a cotton yarn or something else that is absorbent. So, frogging this, and then I think we're getting pretty close to the end of frogging, and we'll be able to start carting all the yarn over to my crafting closet. All right, so I missed the bedtime cutoff. Hi, Alfred. We'll have to put all of this yarn away tomorrow morning. Alfred, oh my gosh, move out of the light. The last thing I have to frog is this hat and then the headband I made. Probably I'll just keep the hat. Yeah, I don't really know. So I think I mentioned, but it's super wash yarn, supposedly. Machine washable and dryable even, but I just threw it in the washer, and even that just like totally morphed it, and I feel like it even felted, so I do not believe that it is machine anythingable. Too much agitation, I think, so I'm undoing it, but because it's kind of like felted, it's been a little hard to pull apart. So working slowly at that, and then I might just not even bother with the little headband I made, and we'll repurpose this yarn for maybe like a knit hat because it'll use less yarn, to make sure I can still make something out of it. I don't know, but that's a later me problem. It's not something I'm going to be making now, and so I might as well just scrap the idea, start afresh, put it in my stash, and then when I'm looking through my stash for inspiration and I see it and I want to work on it, I can pull that yarn back out. But no reason to set it aside now in my WIP basket when I'm not going to work on it now. Hello, it is another day. I did not make the bedtime rush. I was not able to get all the yarn and things put away in the craft closet, which happens to be in my daughter's room. There are 2 closets in that room, so one of them is all my crafting things, not just yarn related, but all the crafty DIY whatevers, and the other one is more of her things. So Did not make it in there. I ended up being busy last night. Went to book club. And so we are back at it today. Just put Georgia down for a nap. Hopefully she stays down. But I had to relocate everything. Let me show you. Since, you know, we had to go to bed last night and take everything down, we just kind of relocated everything. So it's pretty messy. But we're going to move everything back onto the bed so that we have our space to organize and kind of figure out what to do with all of this stuff. Okay, so we're not doing too bad. I have all the yarn in here. This is a massive bag. I have all the yarn here that needs to go back into my old stash in my closet. So that's like a huge weight off of my shoulders and out of the WIP bin. It literally took up like the entire space of that box. So that'll be a huge improvement. I'll show you what else I've got. Let's see. So I've got my active WIPs right here. I've got my hibernated WIPs back there. I've got my more long-term WIPs, but I'm still like working on them. Then I've got a few random design things, a few extra bags. So now I need to go through the like hibernated WIPs, the old WIPs, the things I'd forgotten about, and decide how to organize those. And if there's anything I need to pull out. Like I've already looked through for anything that I know I wanted to frog, but I think what I need to do is kind of separate things out a little bit better between maybe like seasonal WIPs, so that as the weather gets colder, I can pull out that bag and see what inspires me. Organize it a little better so that it can get back in this box. For now, I do want to go shopping for a new basket or tote or something that'll look nicer than this moving box to house all my WIPs. All right, we have all of the old WIPs in an airplane overhead. We have all of the old WIPs, and so now I'm going to kind of set them aside. Like I said, I think I'll try to organize. There's a few things that only need seaming. There's actually a lot of things that pretty much are just seaming. So I think I'm going to put all the seaming things in one pile, and then I'm going to put all the seasonal things in another, and kind of see where that leaves me. These are all crochet projects. I just learned to knit a little over a year ago, and so I've had a pretty good handle on my knitting projects, that they haven't gotten out of control and like taken over my WIP pile, but crochet, not the case. Lots of these are very old. A sugar skull amigurumi that was started, that's seasonal. Scrappy project bag, that's neither option that I said. It gets its own pile. Oh, another scrappy project, I guess. Scrappy blanket. Put seaming and weaving in the ends together, so this is a little sweet pea pinafore. All the ends need to be woven in. This isn't a normal amount of ends, it's just I used a lot of different yarns on this. So ends, weaving, ends, seaming, lots of amigurumi projects. There's a reason I don't do them anymore very much, and it's probably because of the seaming. Oh, this needs some sewing. Put a liner in the bag. There's a few of these bags that need liners. This is a recent pattern test that I have talked about on my podcast. It is the Baby Waffle Weekend Sweater, I think, by Woolbird Knits. And I did the collar as instructed in the pattern, and it was too loose. They have since changed the pattern, and so it's more tight. And I need to go back and do like the second edit of it to kind of cinch that in. So I need to do that. I have yarn in here for that too. Boing. So that is a quick project I need to finish. I just need to do it. More weaving in ends. Oh man, oh my gosh, so many scrubbies that need ends woven in. All those toy blocks that I've talked about. All the seaming. Seasonal project. This is what I was thinking of with seasonal projects. It's a Christmas stocking in Christmas colors. I need to do the second mitten to match this one. Leopard print by Crafting for Weeks. That is definitely a cold weather project. That's it. That's all my lingering WIPs. So honestly, there's just a couple projects and then a lot of random things that need seaming. I'm gonna organize this so that I can hopefully tackle some of this stuff over the next little bit. I have a hard time throwing away things that could be useful. We will try to organize this and see. Maybe when I come back to this, if I haven't gotten to it yet, then I can part ways with it, but I'm not ready to part ways yet. So it's kind of a bummer, The other day I was really in the mood to crochet, but I didn't have a project that I was already working on, and I also didn't have a project in mind, so I just didn't crochet. It was a bummer, and I could have totally crocheted on this and done the collar. Let's put things back in the box area, and then maybe not today, but soon I'm gonna go and try to find a box that'll fit this space, that'll look nicer than the moving box. Gotta take care of my WIPs, you know? I'm gonna put all the lingering things at the bottom. Actually, probably the seasonal things should go bottom most. And then I'll put all the other WIPs that are not as important to me right now. Shove them in, and see, that's already most of the box. So yeah, I gotta take care of some of these things. I do have a couple things set aside that I'm going to prioritize to work on to kind of whip down and kind of clear things out. Don't care about the blanket right now. Honestly, the diaper cover is not super pertinent. I mean, George is still in diapers, but just so many other things I want to make right now. And that is okay. I have to take like a inventory of all my WIPs because I just don't know what's inside what bag. Okay, so that is my skirt that I'm working on. This is my sock design. These are my stripy stroll socks. I need to weave the ends in. Oh, my brioche hat. And you can find out more about all of my WIPs that I'm actually working on in my podcast episode. So I'll make sure to link my playlist up above. And this is another of the lingering WIPs. I'm going to try to get through the collar of the sweater just because it's so close to being done. And this is taking up kind of a large portion of this area. So I'm going to make sure to have that set aside so I can work on that soon. This I remember is my no frills sweater. This is my Find Your Fade. And I've got my sock design that I really need to work on. That's everything. So honestly, I've got a lot still going on here. But we are going to put, my no frills is definitely on the back burner. It's summertime. I don't really want to work on a sweater. If it's like a cozy evening, then I might. This also, it's not a priority. It'd be great to finish this off, but there's just so many other things I want to do. Oh, also, I don't know if you've seen any of the logos and stuff on my bags. Like, these are all just free bags. I'm not associated with anything. I just have a lot of free tote bags. Okay, my skirt is a big priority project, and it's at the point where I can just sit and edit with it in my lap or whatnot. Take it in the car even. It's a little big, but still super simple and really easy to just stop and start wherever. So that is like something I'm working on a lot. Honestly, I'm not working on this sock, though I should be. So that's going in next. I'm like working backwards for what needs to be out. I've been keeping this, covering up the little adapter I have by my bed where all my plugs are in, because there's a light on the adapter that drives me insane and makes it hard to sleep. So that's where this has been living, but it doesn't need to live there. It should probably live here since I'm not doing anything special with it. My brioche hat, also something, even though it is warm weather right now, I've been really enjoying working on that. So that's pretty up there. So I've got my sock design that I've got to work on. Oh, but this is a small bag. I can have this cover my adapter. This thing. This is the thing that keeps me up at night. Ta-da! Stroll socks. My priority project right now, which is my skirts, so that I can have a summer skirt during the summer. And oh my goodness, it's all there and it doesn't even look better. Let's see the before and let's see the after. Yeah, it's not great. I do think that this is not the best use of this little space. So when I get a bin, hopefully that'll help. So I guess this isn't the true after. This is just like part way. I pulled a ton of yarn out of here, so I definitely think that it is better and a little bit more organized. And also I don't have anything except for one small bag by my bed. So I guess it's an improvement. We'll see, I guess, the next phase when it's in a nice bin or like a nice basket, what it looks like. George's bedroom is free and I have all of the yarn. It's so big. So I'm gonna put it away now, but I'm actually not gonna put it away. I'm just gonna shove it in the closet because I don't feel like actually finding a spot for this yarn. Happy day, I have a new basket. Well, it's not new. I got it from Goodwill. I wanted to be more, oh, you can see here that I didn't make the bed this morning. You can see that this is definitely used, got a little stains, not like in perfect condition, but I chose to get something secondhand instead of buying something new. Better for my wallet, better for the planet. I got a basket. I think this will work great. So we are gonna put it in its spot now. Okay, let's just, stick it over where it belongs. All right, yay. It's not a perfect fit for the space, but there's a little bit of room to breathe, and I fit it all in there. It looks way nicer now. I think the taller size definitely helped. All right, so I just wanted to close out this video. Thank you so much for being here and joining me on this little refresh of my work in progress or project basket. It is by no means completed. It's still definitely overwhelming, but it is way better than it was at the beginning of this little project. And it's also, not only has it allowed me to kind of decrease the amount of stuff there, but now I remember what things I started long ago so that I can hopefully work through them and get them out of the project basket and off to where they need to be as finished projects. My end goal in the future, I hope to be able to whittle down this WIP basket and really only have projects that I'm actively working on and that are actively inspiring me. And so this is kind of the first step in really trying to work through those old languishing WIPs so that one day I won't have any, is the ultimate goal. So we'll see how long that takes, I guess. Let me know, make me feel better. How many WIPs do you have? Do you have them all in one spot? Do you have like a designated area like I am trying to do? Or do you have them all over your house? Because of my toddler and my cat, I really do like to keep them in just one area, but I've got a lot. How many do you have? Let me know down in the comments below. And like I said, thank you so much for being here. If you want to stick around, I would love to have you. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification to be notified every time I post a new video. And I will see you in the next one. Happy making. Bye.